on App Central.
Samsung's new smartphone is making waves with some impressive new camera features.
The Google Maps team shares its tales of adventure in the Canadian North.
And Google's first ever computer, we show you why Pixel will make your fingers dance and your screen sing. Welcome to App Central. On today's show, we go diving with the new Samsung Galaxy S4. But first, Michael has an app that will make managing your email life a whole lot easier.
Well, the problem with most stock email apps that come with a smartphone today is that they're not very intelligent. This is a particularly intelligent email app. It's called Mail Pilot. And the way it works is it turns your inbox into more of a to-do list than anything else.
We're seeing this a lot with some of these email apps out there, that they do turn your inbox into a to-do list. So it's easy to kind of check things off, right?
Exactly. So when you get your email flood coming in, they're all marked as incomplete. You can tap one to mark it as complete because you've dealt with it. You can mark it as set aside, which means I can't get to it right now, but I need to get to it pretty quickly. But then there's that next level. Maybe you get an email message that you don't need to deal with today. You don't need to deal with it tomorrow, but you got to deal with it by Friday. And that's where the review by date option kicks in to remind you to deal with that email message that's now probably buried way deep in your inbox.
So you're essentially bouncing that email so it shows up at a later date at the top of your inbox, which is really useful. I do stuff like this all the time.
Exactly.
Is there a waiting list for this app?
No, this app you can buy right now. There are other services that have a similar feature like this, but you do have to sign up for it. You do have to wait to be approved for it. If you pay the cash to buy the app now, you can do this right away.
All right. Okay, so I have an app that is about being productive in some ways, because if you drink coffee, perhaps you're more productive. It's called Find Me Coffee, the idea being that it will locate coffee shops around you.
Okay, so it's using the built-in GPS to find where those coffee shops are, your Timmy's, etc.?
Exactly, wherever you are. So what's neat about this is there are independent kind of coffee apps that help you find the local Starbucks or Tim Hortons. What I really like about this is you have a chance to be able to go to those little off-the-road cafes that you wouldn't normally find. Are really simple to find in here because it has a great directory of those listings.
It sounds like Yelp, however, Yelp wouldn't have the same kind of fine-tuned search for your cup of joe.
Yeah, you know, you're exactly right. And it has those recommendations features built into it. So it also has the social media elements too. So you're able to go to a coffee shop and then you can rate that coffee shop. You can share it with your friends on Twitter, Facebook, via email, also get directions sent to you by text. So very simple with all of these things built in. So you go to some of the best cafes in whatever city you're in.
And if you find one that you don't like, you give it the poor rating and you save other people the hassle as well.
If there's bad coffee, you have the opportunity to rate it as bad coffee so other people won't go there, like you mentioned. And there are a ton of coffee shops in here. So really, really helpful.
All right. Time now to find out what's on your smartphone.
I got this app called Bands in Town, and you basically input all your favorite local artists, all your favorite international artists, and when they're touring and when they're in your local area, they'll inform you on the app. You can purchase tickets on the app or just see what venue they're playing, all the other info.
So generally, Talking Tom is just an application of a cat on the screen, you know, where you're talking to the phone and then...
Yeah, he plays it back in a funny, high-pitched voice. And the reason I like it is because, you know, I just pull pranks on my friends. They're wondering where that
voice is coming on. It's really fun.
For this week's Hot Topic, we're going to talk about an app that's currently being tested in New York City by the police department that some are calling a Big Brother crime-fighting app. What do you think, Maurice?
Amber, I don't think this app is going to work for two reasons. First of all, the Big Brother aspect of it. So, you know, for those that don't know, this app lets police in the field get all this information about the people they're investigating. You know, they can cross-check references. It's basically, you know, the Bible of crime for them. And I'm not sure if this is necessarily going to be good for, you know, their human rights, their civil rights.
Well, what's wrong with this? You're in an investigative scenario. You're looking for specific individuals. We're not pulling up information about people who are just randomly walking down the street. There is a fine line to walk, but you've got to walk between that technology advancement and the civil rights that go with it. So it's up to the lawmakers, and I'm sure we can trust the politicians to do what's right.
Oh, of course.
And an issue that they're having right now is the systems that they currently have in place in their cars are very slow. So when they're trying to pull up information, it takes a lot of different codes, and there just isn't that much information at their fingertips. With this Android app, there is that information there, you know, real-time data that they need to go out there to fight crime. Maurice, what is your problem?
Well, I don't even know if this is going to speed things up, because by the time they unlock their phone to get through the security protocols, you know, is the bad guy they're chasing still going to be there? Maybe he's, you know, gone to a different part of town. I think that if you're out there to serve and protect, you got to be vigilant. You got to look out and keep your eyes up. You can't be looking down at your phone. By the time you arrest the guy, he's going to be in a different state.
How long does it it take you to unlock your iPhone? The idea here that you can take a snap of someone and go through a database of known criminals to find out if this guy really is IP freely as he claims to be, you can actually really help stop crime in its tracks as part of that.
And I think you're assuming that all of these different police officers are on foot patrol. The reality is, imagine that they're in their cars, they're using the apps on their Android phones, and so they're pulling up information that way. They're not all running around like superhero Spider-Man comic books.
Well, I hope these phones are mounted. But you know, one time I was trying to, maybe not the safest thing to do, catch a guy who stole food from a food drop box. And I was chasing him down, and I said, okay, now this is getting dangerous. I should probably call 911. I looked down at my phone. By the time I called 911, I lost track of him. This guy was on the run. And, you know, I could see this happening in the real world.
See, this wouldn't have been a problem if you had been using an iPhone and Siri, my friend. Ha ha ha, Mr. Android guy.
That is a really good point. Yes, of course, they are Android apps. Now, interestingly enough, you won't be actually able to make any phone calls. So the police can't use the phone to make phone calls, only to get access to this information.
Well, you don't want them dialing 911. They are 911. They've got the walkie-talkies
Exactly.
to actually get the backup they need. They don't need the phones, particularly because you don't want them playing Facebook.
Yeah, and of course, they will be on the phones, you know, talking to a girlfriend or something like that and
Check into
wasting
those
time
safe houses
altogether.
on Foursquare.
Let us know what you think. You can find us online on Twitter at AppCentralTV.
Coming up, we go for a swim with the Samsung Galaxy S4. Plus, ditch your default browser for this faster, smarter alternative.
We're here at the University of Toronto's varsity pool to take the new Samsung Galaxy S4 for a test drive.
This phone has been billed as a lifestyle phone, so we're going to try out some of the features and see if the phone lives up to all the hype.
And I'm going to go diving, so we're going to see if it can capture all of the action.
Let's go. When's the last time you went swimming, Michael?
It's been quite some time actually. I'm a little rusty, but I'm excited to hit the water.
Well, aside from the 13 megapixel camera in the S4, there are actually a bunch of other features and functionality to allow us to make some real photo magic.
That sounds neat. Okay, I'm all stretched and I'm ready to go.
I'm going to show you one of the coolest photo features you've ever seen. We have Rob standing by here. He's our field producer. He's going to take a photo of us, and we are going to show some amazing magic.
Yes, and I see Lily that's actually on staff here. She's standing by as well.
Yes, Lily is a lifeguard here. She's going to walk behind us. So Lily, if you want to walk behind us, and then we can pose for a photo.
Okay.
Cheese. Check this out. Lily's not in the picture.
Where did she go?
I erased her completely, and there she is. And then gone again.
That's amazing.
Because she was moving in the background, I was able to erase her completely from the shot, or I should say Rob was.
That's fantastic. Okay, let's see how well this goes with me diving.
With a regular camera, I'd have to shoot a photo of Michael mid-dive, but with this camera, I can create an animated photo so it looks like an animated GIF. All right, Michael, get ready? Okay, let's see what you got. And all I have to do is color in the area I want to show motion, and the S4 will create it for me.
It's great to take lots of pictures, but not if you're not actually in them.
Don't worry, you just swim your heart out and the S4 will take care of all the rest. All I have to do is click on the dual camera icon and use the front-facing camera to take a photo of myself, while the back-facing camera takes a photo of Michael. You can adjust the size of the inset to make yourself smaller or larger, and you can also choose different frames around the inset too. Michael, you have to check out all these great photos that I took.
I don't want to touch your phone, my hands are wet, sorry.
Don't worry, they have this really neat feature that allows you to use something called air gesture, so all you do is wave your hand and you can see all of the images.
That is so cool. You've taken some great photos. Is there any chance you can email me them so I can make an album?
You don't even have to worry about doing any of that extra work because the S4 comes preloaded with an app called Story Album that creates albums for you.
Okay, this I have to see.
Just open the app and click on Create Album. You can gather the photos by the location they were taken, the people tagged in them, or the date they were taken. The app will then organize them into a photo book that you can flip around just like a real album.
Okay, I'm officially jealous of this phone. It is fantastic. What else does it do?
The app has a bunch of other really cool features like a Translate app and an app that lets you watch TV on your phone.
Okay, I'm getting a little cold, so I think we should go.
If you want to learn more about the new S4, all you have to do is head on over to our website at appcentral.ca. Let's go.
Remember where you parked your car with a push of a button. Valet for Android does more than keep track of where you left your wheels. It'll help you avoid another parking ticket too. Set the parking meter timer and you get a notification when the time's about to run out. And it's not just for when you're in an unfamiliar neighborhood. If you've got alternate side parking on your street, you can set a street sweeper alarm too to ensure you never get caught on the wrong side of the road. Picture Life for iPhone is more than just an online hard drive. You secure your photos and videos with this well-organized app. Picture Life will privately back up your images from more than just your smartphone too. It also works with your Facebook photos, Instagram food pics, and the family vacation photos uploaded to Flickr and Tumblr. The free app for your Mac or PC ensures images on your desktop get synchronized with the cloud too, complete with iPhoto ratings and album structure. And if you're a pro, no problem, Picture Life supports the RAW image format too. Major League Baseball has a Major League app for Android. This official ballpark app personalizes your trip to the field with mobile check-in, social media, and rewards. The new My Journal section allows you to keep track of your visits. Want to know the entrance music for your favorite player? No problem. And of course, view the team statistics and watch video highlights all from your device. At the Ballpark has all your bases covered.
If you're looking for an app that will help you surf faster on your smartphone, Maurice has the answer.
Amber, this app is called Chrome, and it might sound familiar for some of you because Chrome is a very popular web browser for desktops and laptops, but few people know that you can actually get Chrome on your smartphone.
I know, this is really exciting. I love Chrome. I use it all the time, and I do have it on my smartphone, and there are many benefits to that, right?
Yeah, you know, the thing is many smartphones, Apple phones, even Android phones come with a built-in browser, Safari if you're using an iOS device, and it's not bad, but you get a whole lot more with Chrome. So Chrome is from Google, and because of that, you can sign into all your Google accounts and stay signed in. So Gmail, YouTube, anything else, Google Docs, Google Drive, you're always having access to that with Google Chrome.
Yeah, so very simple to have all of those things at your fingertips. You know, I mentioned the speed as well. That's very helpful for people. What are some of the other features?
Well, some of the other features include the ability to sync bookmarks. So, you know, a lot of people are working on more than one computer in a day. Maybe they have a laptop at home, then have a desktop at work, and then they're on their smartphone or their tablet after hours. So you can have the same bookmarks across all those different devices, and it just makes it so much easier when you're on the web not to, you know, worry about which bookmarks are saved where, because boom, it all works wherever you go.
And I think that's one thing that Google does really well. Once you start using their products and services, you realize that everything is so nicely integrated, so it may make sense to use something out there like Chrome.
Yeah, exactly, and it saves passwords, and you can go incognito if you're worried about your privacy.
All right, you're going to blog about this for us? To read that blog post, all you have to do is head on over to our website at appcentral.ca.
Still ahead on App Central, Street View like you've never seen before as Google explores the Canadian Arctic. And design your own dashboard, how to get the prettiest home for your iPad.
For this week's feature interview, I'm here with Aaron from Google to talk about a very cool new mapping project. Thanks for joining us today.
It's great to be here.
Okay, so let's talk about this project because it's a little bit different maybe than some other mapping projects you've done.
Very different. Well, you know, Google Maps, we try and build the kind of world's most comprehensive, accurate map. And you know, to really have kind of credibility in Canada, well, that means mapping the North. And when I joined Google a couple of years ago, I looked at the map of the North and we weren't doing a great job. So we connected with some folks in Nunavut and they invited us up to bring the Street View team back in August. And we were there, the Prime Minister was there, and we collected the streets of Cambridge Bay with something called the trike, which is the Street View kind of three-wheel pedicab, and we walked these, or cycled these muddy streets of Cambridge Bay. And you know, what the feedback we got from the community is like, this is wonderful, it's beautiful, but really to kind of understand the Arctic, you have to come back in the winter. So that's what we did 2 weeks ago in Iqaluit.
Okay, so what are some of the challenges involved with mapping the North during these times? Because I imagine it's pretty difficult.
Extremely. Basically, the logistics are very challenging. The weather is very challenging. To give you an example with Iqaluit in winter is a flying community just like Cambridge Bay is. And so we had to kind of, I guess, kind of condense our ambitions. We couldn't send the Street View car. We had to come up with a device that allowed us to still collect the streets, but also kind of make it logistically feasible. So what we used was something called the Trekker. Now, we used the Street View Trekker to collect imagery of the Grand Canyon in the fall, and we thought, well, we can ship that up to Iqaluit. So we shipped it up. I put it on. Some of our community partners in Nunavut put it on, and we walked the streets of Iqaluit, which are incredibly hilly, icy, and the whole community is snowbound. So it was beautiful.
Okay, what was going through your mind when you strapped that on and you're walking around?
Aside from, well, it weighs like 40 pounds, so at first I was like, this is really, really cool, but what was going through my mind about like an hour later is this is getting a little bit heavy. But it was actually pretty amazing, and I was talking to our community partner, a guy named Chris Kaluk, who's Inuit, and he's from Cambridge Bay, about the experience, and he said it was just so amazing being able to kind of build a map that kind of reflects back to the community the world that they live in. And for so many years, the maps of the North have been, well, either they've been subject to the cartographers' whims of basically very small attention to our social geography. I mean, literally like where the banks are and where the Tim Hortons is in Iqaluit. So it was, for him, it felt really nice to actually kind of create a map that the community could use, and I thought that was really special.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and to get more information about how to view these maps of the North, all you have to do is head on over to our website at appcentral.ca.
If you're tired of slopping the pigs and farming for rutabagas on Farmville, we've got something for you that takes it back a notch, maybe to the Paleolithic era. It's Jurassic Park Builder, and here's how it works. You've got your own park. There's our Triceratops. You can tap on him there, you feed him, and as you can see here, I've run out of food. I can actually go to the market and I can buy food. One of two ways. I can actually pay real money for it. The game itself is free. Or I can actually go off into the wilderness here and look for DNA of old dinosaurs as well, bring them back to the lab, come up with new dinosaurs, and once I've done that, the big old scientist will come out and give me the cash I need to expand my empire. I've got a little one going here. We'll figure out how to get beyond that. But of course, the idea here is that you expand that empire to the point where it is a true Jurassic Park. One thing you might consider, though, is having a beefier technology system for security. I understand these guys have a tendency to get loose.
My ad pick this week is called Status Board. This is an interactive dashboard for your iPad. Aside from being absolutely gorgeous, it also takes all of your information and puts it front and center. For example, you can get access to a clock, to your local weather, as well as all of your upcoming appointments and your calendar. You can even get RSS feeds to your favorite news outlets. And you can get your email front and center so you can find it just with one quick glance. This is a really simple way to make sure that you have access to all of that data at your fingertips. So you simply look at your iPad, look at Status Board, and it's all right there.
You've got photos from a wide variety of sources: Facebook, Instagram, iCloud, your iDevice as well. And that's why Wide Angle is my pick of the week for iPad. You collect your photos from your friends and family, you organize your images into sets to help you find out what matters most. You remix your photos by people, location, date, you can even use the map. And because you're tied to Facebook and Instagram, you can send all of those albums that you've built right back into your social networks for others to enjoy as well.
Up next, control your smartphone with a wristwatch that blends style and convenience, and an interactive app that brings an old French folk tale to life.
My gadget of the week is the Cuckoo Watch. This isn't just any watch, it's a smartwatch. It connects to your phone over a Bluetooth connection, and this lets you see relevant information with just a quick glance at your wrist instead of having to pull your phone out of your pocket or purse. The design is playful, it's youthful, there's no numbers on the face of the watch, but behind that face are a few notification icons that can light up. You can see when there's a missed or incoming call. It'll also notify you if there's a calendar alert. You get a Facebook message. And a command button over here will let you check into places on Foursquare, start/stop music on your phone, and it even works as a remote control for your camera phone if you want to take a picture when you're in range. Now, oddly enough, the watch seemed to lose its connection a few too many times. Setup was fairly simple, but don't expect any bells and whistles at this price point.
My gadget pick this week is the first ever computer made by Google. This is the Chromebook Pixel. absolutely gorgeous, and of course it runs on the Chrome operating system. That means when you're using all of your different Google services and products, they are automatically uploaded and saved in the cloud. So very handy, and when you think about security, you don't have to worry about it because there are automatic updates. Now check out this screen. It's gorgeous. So if you're watching videos or movies or browsing through photos, it's going to look fantastic. And the killer feature is here. It is touchscreen, believe it or not. So not only can you use the keyboard, but you can also touch the screen. Want to play a game of Angry Birds? Easy to do. Check this out. Play Angry Birds right there. Now kids will absolutely love this because they're so used to interacting with tablet devices and touching the screen, so it's nice to have both options. And also, if you have multiple users, you'll be able to do that with this device. So a fantastic product for the entire family to enjoy.
Furby, 20 years ago, hit the scene, the must-have toy. Shh, it's not your turn yet. And now he's back, as a matter of fact. He's got a digital makeover, digital eyes, as a matter of fact, here, and a whole host of new sensors. And one of the neat things is you can actually do such things as feed him from your iPad or your iPhone. And he will eat that, and if he doesn't like it, he'll send it back. So with that in mind, there's a whole host of other new features that make him 21st century. Will you calm down, please? The idea here, too, is that because he speaks Furbish, you can actually use it as a translator, talking here. So the idea is that not only are you feeding him with the iPad, he sings, the more you speak to him, as a matter of fact, the more English he'll speak as well. If you treat him poorly, he turns evil, however, and you'll see it in his digital eyes. It's a little creepy, and the only way to shut him off is to actually put him in a dark room. Oh, you gonna go to sleep now? No, didn't think so.
Taking a look at some top apps from around the world, our first landing is in Spain for the virtual tour guide app iBarcelona. The app provides you with useful information about the city of Barcelona by using your smartphone's GPS. When you are near a point of interest, a description of it with pictures or a video will pop up. The app also sends you promotions and discounts for nearby venues. Next stop is Germany for a unique way to make music with Pulsar. This app lets you create music on a page by combining circles that represent instrument sounds and beat rates. When an instrument circle touches a beat circle, it will play its sound. You can combine different sized circles to create beautiful melodies or terrible cacophonies. And our last destination is France for the storybook app La Fontaine's Frog and Ox. This app is an interactive version of the French fable The Frog Who Wanted to Be as Big as an Ox by Jean de La Fontaine. By tilting your iPad, you can interact with the pictures, and if you blow on your screen, it will trigger animations. A child can also learn how to pronounce a word by clicking on it. Now remember, if you've got an app you'd like us to check out, let us know on our website at appcentral.ca.
If you missed any part of the show, you can find us online at appcentral.ca.
And you can follow us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter too, AppCentral TV.